Hey guys, Daikatana again, once again with some more video game loot. And remember last time how I got some free stuff? Well, cue the creepypasta music, because I once again did. I know, maybe I just look like a really nice guy when I go out, because people constantly want to give me free stuff. Starting off with this quick shot. Let's see where it said, for professional players joystick thing. Move the camera a bit backwards, and this thing was really dirty when I got it. I cleaned it up, and you can still see it a bit. Really strong suction cups, those really do work wonders. But you can still see it a bit here, in the indentations here. So yeah, this thing was really dirty and still reeks a bit. So yeah, that's probably why the guy gave it to me for free, because this is also... Well, I got it for free from the guy I usually buy from on Sundays. He always has some great stuff. And, well, he gave me this for free because I came over and, well, he probably figured that he couldn't really sell such a dirty joystick. Also, for some reason, he doesn't... Well, I think his son collects video games and he helps, or maybe he collects as well. And for some reason, they don't really like third-party stuff. But from what I can remember, QuickShot is a pretty good company. Also, really nice clicky feelings. I've used this and it's just an all-around fantastic thing. It has a really nice feel to it, fits into your hand perfectly. So this is a really cool joystick. And once cleaned up, this doesn't look too bad, so I'm really glad I got this for free. Though, I'm not really sure what this slow button means. Also, the start doesn't really seem to work. But maybe that's because I have a Master System 2, which is a cheaper version, and the start button is on the system itself. So let's put this thing to the side, because that's not the only thing I got for free. A week later, I got Daikatana for the N64. This, from as far as I know, is a pretty shitty game, so he probably just wanted to get rid of it. And well, I bought my N64 from him, so he was just like, hey, you bought that N64, right? Huh? You can have this for free too. And I don't know, I think he said it was an okay game. So, well, I guess I'll just have to try it out to see if it really is if it really is okay or it's really just downright bad. I think this was from the guys who made Doom, or at least some other great game. I know these guys were, well, they had a great name until they made Daikatana, apparently. So let's put this right here, and yes, I bought this. A game with no cover and just the name written on it with a plain black marker for €1. Cue the creepypasta music, because you don't get it any better than this. And, oh yeah, this is actually, from what I can... If I'm not mistaken, this was an actual cover from something. So, let's see. Oh, this is an American game, because it says Genesis. It should have been Mega Drive. Oh, well. Tengen. I think that was a pretty good thing. That was a pretty or... Where those... I think Oh no, Tengen was, those were the guys from the Tetris thing. Yeah, the Tengen version of Tetris. So let's put this Genesis cover back into the Mega Drive thing. Come on. Come on. So, well, I'll do that later on. And so, yeah, Alicia Dragoon from it. I think this is a pretty damn good game. I saw this, I saw the video from Patty NES Punk. It looked like a great game, though the European and American art is horrendous. I mean, I'm sorry, this would have been I guess a cool cover, but when you look at the original Japanese cover, which I'm gonna cut out and put in there, the Japanese cover looks much better. So I wasn't really too disappointed that I didn't get the European remake cover art, because that really didn't appeal to me. So yeah, if I don't upload any videos after this, you might want to contact the police and tell them this might have something to do with that. But moving on, so I got this joystick for the Sega Master System, but at the time I didn't have one, so got this thing here, the Sega Master System 2. As I said, this is the cheapo version with the start button on the console, which is something I had never seen before, and the original Master System doesn't have that either. So yeah, apparently this was a huge commercial failure in both Japan and America, but did pretty damn good in Europe and also Brazil. Very specific thing. Now, the one problem with this thingy right here is that the RF signal has some disturbance on it. It's not a clear signal, so I'm going to try to do an RGB mod on this, because apparently people were really bummed out that it didn't have RGB, and a lot of people wanted RGB on this. Now, I paid 20 euros for this system with the controller. Also, this has Alex Kit in Wonderworld built in, and it's a full-fledged game. It's not like some random game. It's actually a game you could buy on a cartridge, but it has it built in, so that's really awesome. And I got 4 really good games with it. And the first one is the cult classic Golden Axe. So really cool that thing was in there. And you know, if you get a Master System, you might as well get one of the best ones. Peripheral Sega control pad or control stick. So then the next one, Altered Beast. Once again, a classic for the Master System. Fortunately, only 1-player games that were included. Then Shinobi. I think this was Sega's answer to Ninja Gaiden. And some people would describe this as a poor man's version of Ninja Gaiden, though to be honest, so far I prefer Shinobi over Ninja Gaiden. Shinobi has slightly slower gameplay, but also it feels less cheap than some of the deaths that are in Ninja Gaiden. Sometimes it really feels like, how could I have seen that coming, or what's he doing? And Vigilante. Haven't heard of this before, haven't played it yet, but I wonder how this is going to be. Looks like some kind of beat 'em up, like Double Dragon kind of thing going on. I'm gonna, well, wonder what it's going to be like. So, technically, I got 5 games with this for 20 euros. It's a pretty decent deal, I would say. Talking about great deals, let's move on to the best one of today. For 20 euros, I got a whole bunch of stuff in a box. Starting off with a PlayStation 2 Slim with memory card, 1 controller, and all of the cables in perfect working order. So the Slim is the one that is also the most valuable of all the PlayStation 2s. And just alone, 20 euros for this would have been really good, but there's still more to come. Not only was there a normal controller, also the GunCon 2 with Time Crisis 2. This gun has a really cool feel. Really like the way this thing looks. Looks like a really badass real gun. Much better than some of the older light guns. Unfortunately, haven't tried out yet on the old tube television, which is in the attic. So yeah, really can't wait to try this out. And hey, PlayStation Slim is pretty easy to carry around, so gotta give this a shot sometime. And well, the game works and the gun works, it just won't register on the television. Then a bunch of other games came with it. GTA San Andreas, unfortunately, nothing in there. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but this was fortunately the only game that came without a game. Up next we have Red Faction, Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, Medal of Honor Rising Sun, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition from Rockstar. I think this was a really good game. Age of Empires 2, The Age of Kings. Now I know the PC version is really great and from what I can remember, one of the best games ever. Really wonder how this is going to be on the PlayStation 2, but hey. Moving on, we have Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX 2. Not sure how good this is going to be. I know Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is an awesome game, but I hope there's going to be a similar thing. And that's still not everything I got for 20 euros, because the big thing was Final Fantasy IX, all the way at the bottom of the box. Like I said, so all this stuff was in a random box, and I literally beat a reseller to this by like 5 minutes. Because the thing is, he had already spotted this box with the PlayStation, but he didn't really bother because he didn't saw anything of real value in there. Because Final Fantasy IX was all the way at the bottom. And he literally told me, well, he had his stand right next to the guy. It was a yard sale, and he had his stand right next to the guy who was selling this. And so I went up to his stand because I wanted to look like maybe he had some good deals. Of course he didn't. And the guy asked me like, hey, how much did you pay for all of that? And I was like, the guy asked 25, gave him 20 and made a deal. And he immediately said like, oh man, if only I'd known Final Fantasy 9 was in there, I would have bought it. So you're really lucky. I would have, so yeah, you're really lucky. 5 minutes later and I would have bought it. And I thought to myself, well, good thing I did, and good thing I beat the reseller to it. So yeah, this was a fantastic deal. And wait, this is not all, because I said I paid 20 euros for this, but I already sold an Alien vs. Predator DVD. I think Alien vs. Predator 2. I sold that for 3 euros. Oh yeah, also GTA 3 and... oh, because there was a red faction in here, I sold my red faction, which didn't look nearly as good. So I already sold... So technically, all of this stuff here, putting red faction aside, all of this I technically got for 12 euros, because I already sold a bunch of stuff. And it also had some other random stuff in there. There was a Samsung charger with earbuds. There was some kind of... TV tuner for your PC, and then there also was an external DVD drive for some Asus PC, some Asus laptop. So, you know, maybe I can sell them. I put them on like our version of Craigslist, so maybe someone will pick those up, and if I can even sell one of those things, I will have gotten all of this for free. So this was a really awesome deal, and that's what I love about flea markets. Sometimes you just find something and you think like, man, this totally made my day. And this is not the only great PlayStation 2 stuff I got, because I got this like, I think by now it should have been like a month or 2 months already, but last week I did another really great deal. So I paid 18 euros for 5 games, which means 3 euros a piece. First one, Kessen 2. This is from the same guys who made the Dynasty Warriors game, and I think this was more a strategy game. And reviews are pretty good on this, so really looking forward to giving this a shot. Next up, Oni. It is from Rockstar, but from what I've heard, it's kind of mediocre. It's like average. Nothing too great, nothing too bad. It was a beat-em-up style game from what I've seen. And hey, anime style. Respect Rockstar. So I'll check it out. Then, games everyone probably knows about: Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater and Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. And I think this is a European version. That this was something released in Europe alone, because this also includes another game for some reason, because Europe got it much later and then they threw something on there. So yeah, the Ultimate Collector's Edition isn't really all that ultimate, because all of the games were like this, and this was just something thrown in there because America got it much earlier or something. Either way, the Ultimate Collector's Edition means absolutely nothing, because all of the games were like this. Still, these are great games for 3 euros. Then, the final thing which made it all worth is Bloody Roar 4 from Hudson. Very good company from the NES era. Now, the thing about this is, I'd never heard of this before. I know Hudson is known for some quality titles, but the thing is, the game itself, it's average. Nothing too great, nothing too bad. Looks like a fun fighter overall, and apparently has a kind of career mode, so that's interesting. But the real kicker is, this game is worth quite a lot on eBay. They're asking like all the way up to 40 euros for this. So I had my smartphone with me, so I paused by his stand, saw a few games which looked interesting, like Bloody Roar 4, and looked up some of the price, like I wondered what this was going for, and when I saw 40 euros, I quickly made a 180 and picked it up. So yeah, 3 euros for this. So this alone is like worth twice as much as everything. And there was even an auction going on, which is already at 15 euros, so that was a really great find. And I had never heard of this before, like Bloody Roar 4, so there must be at least 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, wonder how it's gonna be. We're going back in time now with some PlayStation 1 games. Tomb Raider 2 for 2 euros. That was a great deal. And Quake 2 also for 2 euros. And I got slightly, ever so slightly, ripped off. So yeah, usually I always check my games for the CDs. And you know, the one time you forget to do it because you're in a hurry, the damn thing is empty. like, hey, at least it has a manual. Like, yeah. I mean, they were also selling a PlayStation 1, so probably it wasn't anything malicious, and Quake 2 was probably still in the PlayStation 1. So yeah, thinking about it, I really should have made him an offer for the entire thing, just like I did with the PlayStation 2 stuff, because originally I only wanted to buy the Time Crisis 2 game with the gun and Final Fantasy 9. But the guy only wanted to sell it as a set, and since he only asked 25 for the entire thing and gave it to me for 20, I bought the entire bundle. So yeah, maybe I should have tried buying all of them too. They had some interesting things lying around, but oh well. At least I guess I'll consider this as having paid €4 for Tomb Raider 2, and I still had a nice deal. Because yeah, that makes it slightly less of a bummer. And I kept one of the most awesome things I got for last. Let's go back in time all the way to the 80s. I got a box NES action set with everything included. The NES, 2 controllers, the Zapper, Duck Hunt. Well, technically not Duck Hunt, because he asked if I owned that game already. And yeah, I had it, so he knew someone else he could give it to. But he did also give me Super Mario 2. Super Mario Bros. 2. And I've heard it's a quite good game. So I got this set for €60. And let's bring out the old school NES, looking pretty damn good. No real scratches on it. The only thing was a slight discoloration, like a small crack here. What was the discoloration? I knew it was somewhere. Pretty sure it was. Oh yes, slight discoloration here, but whatever. It's, I think the camera's even hardly picking it up, but yeah, slightly discolored there, but overall, really nice thing. Should get it dusted though, it's been collecting a bit of dust, but really awesome thing. And hey, came in a box, had everything except for the manual, but whatever. €6 is still a really good deal for an NES, especially at this time. And also in Belgium, it seems to be really hard to find anything NES related. Also, one of the most awesome things is I actually got this from one of my customers. Apparently, he also goes to the same guy on Sunday to buy used games, to check out if he has something new. Like I think I've already mentioned before, but the guy I go to on Sunday, he always has some new stuff lying around there. So, and he knew I needed an NES. So I guess they randomly got talking and told to that one customer of mine, like, oh yeah, Vincent needs an NES. And he was like, oh, I have an NES. So suddenly he arrived at my stand, well, my dad's stand where I work, and he was like, hey, Willie told me you need an NES. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And he brought it out next week, so that was really cool. And well, I now have a boxed NES after I got all of those games, and I can finally give them all a shot. So this is a really nice thing, and I really love I got this very important thing of gaming history. Now I have to mention, for a lot of Americans, this was probably like the system of the time. But like I said, with the Sega Master System, the NES here actually got a lot more competition from the Sega Master System, and these two, I believe, were actually able to go head to head. So unlike America, unfortunately, you can't find too much NES stuff here. Also, like I said, for some reason, all of those things are completely gone, and he even said it himself, like, yeah, it's like all of those guys in Brussels bought it up and are selling it now for ridiculously high prices. So I'm really glad I was able to get a boxed NES for a decent price. And I almost forgot about this game here, Mystic Quest. I mean, the title caught my attention because it sounds like a nice RPG. Mind you, when I bought this, I couldn't help but be reminded of the NES game Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Yes, that abomination. And I thought, yeah, maybe it's gonna be that port to the Game Boy, but for €1 I was willing to take my chances, because it just said Mystic Quest. Maybe it was Final Fantasy, maybe not. And it turns out this is actually a Final Fantasy game. Maybe a good thing it wasn't written on there, or I wouldn't have been able to pick this up for €1. But it's not Final Fantasy Mystic Quest from the NES at all. This game is like Legend of Zelda meets Final Fantasy, the old school Legend of Zelda ones. This is plays almost identical to Legend of Zelda, and that's what's really awesome about it. So you have a character at this time does want to talk, and yeah, you just move around Legend of Zelda style. You move around on the overworld. The exact same thing. You have your square area, you move down, the entire area moves with you to a new square. So that's really cool, and the game so far is really great. I only had one annoying thing with the game, where one of the clues was with the sound the game makes. You had to find something in the walls. Some walls are breakable apparently, and you figured that out. You figured that out by running up to the wall, and then the wall would make a funny sound. I was playing the game with no sound at all. No wait, I was playing it in the car. I didn't have my headphones with me, so even if I put up the sound all the way, I just couldn't hear it over the sound of the road. So yeah, that got me stuck for a while until I looked up a walkthrough. So overall, this is a really nice game, especially for €1. Damn. And that's all of the new game stuff I got. And I still can't believe some of the deals I got this time. And this is really why I love flea markets and yard sales. Sometimes the deals you find are just mind-boggling. Like, people really have no clue what they have on their hands. All of this stuff set me back €116, with €60 coming from the NES. So if you think this box away and that cartridge, all of this set me back €56. All of these games, the controller, well, that thing was free though, the Gun-Con, the Sega MS system, the Sega MS system games, the Mega Drive game. I mean, sometimes life can be pretty damn awesome. And hey, if I wanted to resell some of these things, I could like double or maybe even triple the money. It's like investing in stocks, only much more fun. And the last thing I want to talk about is that I've once again been thinking about creating my own gaming channel, because lately I've heard that YouTube is getting less asinine about using video game footage in YouTube videos. So right now might be a good time to give it a shot. And the one thing I've always kind of want to do was do some reviews on more niche anime titles. Some great games, some not as great, like Sailor Moon here, which is a Final Fight clone, the great Blue Destiny games, and the absolutely not quite as great Love Hina games. I've really wanted to talk about this thing in depth for a long time. So I've been thinking about doing that, and I think that next month I'm gonna give it a shot. But the one thing I'm still looking for is a title for my channel. The only thing I can come up with are the obvious things like Otaku Games, which is what I would have liked to have, but a lot of people have. It's like, hey, I'm subscribed to Otaku Games. Which one? Which one of the hundreds of Otaku Games out there? And yeah, I really can't figure out a good name that really has a relation to what I'm planning to do, like do reviews. Of course there are going to be Gundam games, there are going to be some other things as well, and the reason why I really want it to be a different channel is because I really want that channel to focus on video games. This channel is always going to be my main channel, so even if you're worried about me making a second channel that I'm not gonna you know, pay as much attention, not upload as much things on this channel anymore, don't worry, this is always going to be my main channel. But because of that, I really want a dedicated gaming channel, because there are probably going to be people who only subscribe for the video game reviews, and then they're going to be bombarded with all of these Gundam reviews. So yeah, that's kind of why I wanted it to be a different channel with a catchy name, which I cannot come up with, or at least not a catchy name that hasn't been copied like 100 times already. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and hey, if you've watched up to this point in the video, I guess this might be something you're interested in. And I'm really looking forward to doing these kinds of reviews, because also I'm going to try to put a bit more, well, putting a bit more effort sounds a bit wrong, but to make it more of a, like put some more production values in there, like do a bit more like a skit and actually have a scenario for doing these things, unlike my Gundam reviews, which are all of them pretty improvised on the spot. So yeah, I really want to try doing something like that, a bit more scripted, and see how that experiment, I guess, how that endeavor turns out to be. And maybe that's also something I'm gonna try to keep up. So definitely leave your comments down below if you think it's a good idea. Would you be willing to watch that? What are your thoughts on it? And definitely leave a comment down below if you think you have a catchy name that hasn't been used a quadrillion times already. Well, that's all for this new loot video, and see you guys next time.